Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Simon Wilson from ACI Worldwide, and we're talking about real-time payments. Simon, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Thea.
So the new access model promoted a level playing field for payment services providers. Are you seeing that happening?
It did, that's right, and yes we are. We're seeing a huge amount of interest. In fact, I think originally the PSR and faster payments envisaged over 400 potential participants. I won't pretend we've spoken to all 400, but we've certainly spoken to a good number, and there's a lot of interest out there. I think that interest is really driven by three key things ultimately. People do want to reduce costs. The current environment isn't particularly cost effective for people in many cases. So there's a drive, yes, to reduce their own costs in terms of their participation, but also costs for their customers as well. But secondly, and perhaps more importantly, it's really about service and the service that they can offer to their customers. A lot of what they get at the moment through alternative routes is kind of nearly real time, but not quite. It's maybe not quite 24/7, 365. And so that desire to have better control and just a better grasp of their own service and the capability for their customers, it is driving a lot of that activity. Certainly, the customers that we've had this year, if you look at TransferWise, if you look at TSB, if you look at Turkish Bank, they've all kind of been driven by one or more of those drivers to become indirect participants and using our solutions to do that.
And how easy is it for customers to shift and get direct access?
It's interesting. There are certainly challenges, but they are relatively easy to overcome. And certainly more and more people, as they look at this in detail, are finding that. I think if you look at the real challenges, the first is just the connectivity options. And certainly the sponsorship that is needed behind that to get access to clearing and settlement, which is a key part. Having said that, ACI has been doing real-time payments and UK faster payments since 2008, so we've got a lot of experience, and we're walking through that with that experience and helping customers and putting them in touch with the right kind of partners to meet the right kind of needs for what they're doing. I think the second thing that people have to grapple with is a business case. And I think there's a variety there. As I said, there's some cost benefits to moving here, more often than not for people, as well as service benefits, but there's still a business case that needs to be built. But we're seeing people take a longer term view here. Real-time payments is becoming the norm, and they want to experiment and get those capabilities and those new service offerings out to their clients, so that their clients can experience them and feedback. FinTech customers particularly, I think, are very responsive. They like adopting new things sooner rather than later. So the sooner that these new participants, that FinTechs, get into doing this and providing their customers with new services and seeing how they can leverage real-time rails, the quicker they get that feedback. And thirdly is just the technical challenge. Now probably the easiest way to get rid of that challenge in its majority is to work through a service provider, an aggregated service such as the one that ACI provides. It's based on the cloud, our private cloud. It's 24/7, 365, always available. It's very cost effective. It is kept up to date. It takes away the whole challenge and complexity of technical certification, which for anyone is a big part of the certification process of becoming even an indirect member of the scheme. And even things like message transformation, send us the message in a variety of formats, we'll format it correctly for the scheme. So it takes away a huge headache there. So yes, I think there are those who want an on-premise solution. They'll want to, perhaps some of the smaller banks want access to wider markets and some of the new up-and-coming real-time rails that are not just UK, or perhaps they'll want to develop it out further than just a gateway into more of a payment services hub.
So how do you see open APIs impacting the offerings of FinTech as it relates to faster payments?
Yeah, I think the next couple of years are going to be really exciting in that respect. I mean, real-time payments, faster payments is one thing. Open APIs, the regulations that are coming in the UK around open banking, PSD2 in Europe, two separate things. but actually they're very, very closely related. Hand in glove, I'd go as far to say. As I said, real time is the norm. Someone said to me only the other day, instant gratification is no longer quick enough. Everything else in life is real time. You can have it immediately. People just don't expect payments to be any different, the idea that they can't be. But it's not just about the speed aspect. It's also about the data. And what open APIs do, what PSD2 as a piece of regulation does, is enable service providers to, with their customers' permission, access all those customer data and use that to provide much more value-added services. The banks have had that data for a long time, maybe haven't leveraged it as well as they could have done. They've got a lot of complex legacy in the background, partly as well as culturally for that. FinTechs aren't inhibited by that, and actually providing an aggregated service around consumer finance or a richness of offering an insight into a corporate customer's business through leveraging that data is going to be key. But they're also able to initiate payments, and initiate payments in real time is what customers want. So it helps to bring, the data brings the speed alive, and together they form a really powerful combination. And I think it's very difficult to say today exactly what the business models are going to be like. I think customers expect speed, they expect ubiquity, they expect things to always be available, they expect a consistency of service, and all of those demands have the capability now to be met when you look at real-time rails and you look at open APIs.
Simon, this has been great, thank you.
Thank you, pleasure.
And thank you for watching.